Hello, hello. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Um, I'm not going to have a whole lot of time, but it shouldn't be long. Oops, sorry about that. I wasn't muted. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We have articles 4, 5, 6, and 7 to get through. It shouldn't take very long at all. As many of you know, we are on bottle baby kitten duty. And so I have a couple quiet minutes right now. I want to get this finished because right now, freedom of speech, which is covered in the First Amendment, is something that's so important. Freedom of expression is the generalized term for the First Amendment. So I want to get on to that, but I don't want to start on that until we get through the original constitutions and the last 4 articles here. So the first 3 articles we went over covered, let's see, the 3 branches and how they would be run, which were the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. And then the 4th article is where we are going to pick up. So I'm going to start reading. If I don't see you in the chat, please leave your messages there and I will look occasionally. So we start with Article 4. Hello, Conklin. It's good to see you. Article 4, Section 1. This is basically the overview of the states and how they shall deal with things. Okay, so Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. And the Congress may, by general laws, prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved, and the effect thereof. Section 2. The citizens of each state shall be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. A person charged in any state with treason, felony, or other crime, who shall flee from justice and be found in another state, shall, on demand of the executive authority of the state from which he fled, be delivered up to be removed to the state having jurisdiction of the crime. No person held to service or labor in one state under the laws thereof, escaping into another, shall, in consequence of any law or regulation therein, be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered up on claim of the party to whom such service or labor may be due. If this was changed in the 13th Amendment, so we will discuss that when we get there. Section 3. New states may be admitted by the Congress into this union, but no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state be formed by the junction of 2 or more states or parts of states without the consent of the legislatures of the states concerned as well as of the Congress. Hello, Freeside. It's great to see you. Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion, and on application of the legislature or of the executive, when the legislature cannot be convened, against domestic violence. Of course, when they're speaking of domestic violence, they're speaking of violence within the the states themselves. So then we go on to Article 5. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this Constitution, when ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect the 1st and 4th clauses in the 9th section of the 1st article, and that no state without its without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. Article 6. All debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. The senators and representatives before mentioned, and the members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. But no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Article 7. The ratification of the conventions of 9 states shall be sufficient for the establishment of this Constitution between the states, so ratifying the same. Done in convention by the unanimous consent of the states present, the 17th day of September, in the year of our Lord 1787, and of the independence of the United States of America, the 12th in witness whereof, we have hereunto subscribed our names. And then we have the people listed who signed, and we have George Washington, President and Deputy from Georgia. Then from Delaware, there were several people: Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, which were the states at the time that the Constitution was put into place. So that is the reading of the Constitution as it was originally presented and signed. And then, of course, we saw in Article 5 that they did make the article so that they could set forth how amendments would be proposed and how they would be ratified. And that is what we are going to get into next. Hello, Roger. It's good to see you. Not today, because today, the First Amendment especially, I look at it at least taking a full hour or more, or even possibly being broken up into separate streams, because I think there's a lot to cover in the First Amendment. As I said, the First Amendment is generally known as the freedom of expression, and there are 4, sometimes 5 different freedoms with that are mentioned, and those would be the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom to assemble, and the right to petition the government. So, you know, that's a lot to go over, especially with everything going on in our country right now. And I want to somehow do that justice. I want to talk about, you know, some of the decisions that have been made in the past that started us on some paths that maybe led to other things, the slippery slopes, why, you know, why allowing one thing can cause problems with another. But yeah, I'm looking forward to discussing the First Amendment, and I'll try and give a little bit of notice on that. Probably give you a day's notice. That's really hard for me to do because, number one, right now with the kittens we're caring for, also with the kids that we're caring for, my day-to-day changes. We have a lot going on with our neighbor whose car is out of order, and, you know, getting him where he needs to go when he needs to go there. So just a lot going on right now. Plus I have other things that I'm doing. Like tomorrow night, I will be live with Shannon if she's feeling better. We'll be going over Maura Murray. And then Sunday on my channel, I'm supposed to be hosting the caregiver support stream. So if you'd like to be here for that. But like I said, tomorrow night I should be over on Shannon's doing Maura Murray if you want to meet us there. And then Sunday here on my channel in the evening, I think I said I would do it at 7 or 8 my time. I'm not sure. Caregiver support stream. So it will probably be Monday before I can get to having enough time to give to going over the First Amendment. We are in a mess with free speech, very much so, Conklin. And that's why I want to give the First Amendment the time that it deserves with the temperature of what's going on in our country right now. And, if anyone would like to come up on stream, like I said, I'm going to try and plan that for Monday. If you want to put together your feelings and opinions and all of that, and you would want to come up on panel with me, you would, and this is to anyone, not just Conklin, you're more than welcome, as long as I know who you are, and I know that you're a person who will take it seriously, give it the consideration it deserves, and not just be rude or whatever, which most of the people who come in my streams are not rude, and I don't have to worry about that. Anyway, I hope that you all are going to have a wonderful weekend. I am myself covered in kitten formula and smashed up kitten food. But we're getting better at this. I couldn't get the babies to latch. We were just making a mess. They were coming out of there with formula on their eyes and all over their feet. I have gotten really good at getting the angle of that syringe right, and we're getting some good latching done, and I'm not even having to press the plunger. They're latching so well that they're just sucking that plunger right down and filling up their little baby tummies. It's so adorable. So that is my life at the moment. I feel like a real mama right now, covered in baby formula. And so, yeah. Anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend. Like I said, tomorrow night, Saturday, we're doing Maura Murray, the mystery of her disappearance, over on Shannon's. And then Sunday evening, we'll be doing the caregiver stream here on my channel. And then Monday is when I'm planning to start on the First Amendment. And if you would like to join and come up on panel, get your opinions and your thoughts and your, the other side of the issue prepared, you're more than welcome to be devil's advocate so that we can cover all the ways that this could affect us and our Constitution. All right, guys. Well, I am out of here because it's not going to be long till it's kitten time again. So have a wonderful day. Remember, you are important, you matter, and you are loved. And I love you, and I will see you very soon.